Hey everybody, welcome back to AWS OnAir. I'm Todd Fortier, and we are cooking here on the stream, and I am joined by the awesome Jasmine Kyles. Hi, Jasmine.
Hi, thanks for that intro. Hi, I'm Jasmine Kyles. I'm a manager of product management here at AWS, but we're not here to talk about me today.
No.
You know what we have on our stage?
Who do we have?
Some more guests. We're so excited to see them, and one of them happens to be really special. We'll let you figure out which one. All right, how are we doing? Who do we have here on the stage?
Hey, I'm Danielle Herberling.
Are you the really special one?
I'm not sure. It's hard sitting next to this guy here.
I'm Gunnar Grosch, developer advocate at AWS, and I'm definitely special, but not in the way I think you're referring to, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so this special that I'm referring to is we have an AWS Hero here with us, and that is Danielle.
Hey, y'all. Yeah, I've been a hero for about 2 years. So, really enjoying my time at Inforce. And maybe a little bit about me. Should I just say where I work and all
tell us
that?
what being a hero means to you and where you work and how you tie it together.
Totally. Man, that's a lot. Okay. So being a hero is really awesome. We get to do a lot of really cool stuff within the community. Personal shout out to the Believe in Serverless Discord. Join us, believeinserverless.com/community. So shameless plug there. Serverless hero. So do a lot of stuff with Lambda in particular, really loving step functions. Also, since we are at Inforce, I've been really loving AWS organizations and being able to get multi-accounts all in the same place.
Okay,
Billing and all that.
So I love origin stories here. Help me understand how you got started on the hero path. What is a hero, and how did you sort of get plugged into that?
Yeah, totally. It actually was not a goal of mine. I worked at this company in the past called Stackery. We were an early platform for serverless. So deploying and developing and delivering serverless applications is the quick pitch. So and essentially, it was some of the early things of what became AWS Application Composer, if you've ever heard of that.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, for those watching who may not know, it's a really great drag and drop interface. If you go into the AWS console, look up it's Infrastructure Composer now, sorry. And you can just drag and drop resources onto the canvas, and it will auto-generate an AWS SAM CloudFormation compatible template for you. And then you just hit a button and you can deploy. I built a lot of that, dealing with just all the intricacies of CloudFormation, some of the changes. Luckily, AWS is very good about communicating with their partners on things like that. I think that's kind of where I got into it. At that point, it was like 2017, 18. So a lot of it was like, what is serverless?
Okay.
We were a little bit ahead of that, but we did have to backpedal a lot to educate folks. And that was kind of how I got on, the hero path. Because I wrote a lot of blog posts. A lot of it was actually for future me. Of like, hey, I learned this stuff. I want to remember it, but I'll also make it public just in case it might help one other person. And luckily, I think it ended up helping a lot of people because I ended up getting recognized for it and have given a fair amount of talks and things like that.
Nice. I think Danielle really highlights what AWS Heroes are, because in these few minutes, she's just been spitting out knowledge, and that's really what they're doing. They are just knowledge sharing and helping others get started with AWS and learn more about AWS in many, many, many different ways. So it's a super vibrant community of AWS experts, but they are constantly sharing knowledge in different ways.
And it sounds like in forums, writing blog posts, this is not your first time to the AWS OnAir stage.
Correct.
You did some game day at the most recent reInvent. Gunnar, you were there as well.
I was. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of different ways of interacting in the community. So tell us, what you're working on now. You mentioned like AWS organizations, but probably working on some security things, maybe.
Yeah. Big into security. I work at a pretty small startup. The 1-year anniversary for it was actually in May.
Wow. That's really new.
Yeah, I know. I joined joined in December.
Okay.
And whenever I joined, they really needed an AWS expert to kind of come in and, put all their ducks in a row, so to say. Luckily, the team was really great with infrastructure as code, but one part that really needed some love was the governance part of it.
Okay.
Making sure that we had a development account we could deploy into. It's really, my personal opinion is it's really helpful to have multiple AWS accounts because that's lack of a blast radius. So if I am deploying into dev, it should not affect my customers in production. And the best way to do that, in my opinion, is separate AWS accounts governed by AWS organizations. You can also have like CloudTrail, centralized logging, if you want to, make sure that people are doing things responsibly. But the company that I work for, it's a company called Bronson. And what we're doing is we partner with a law firm. We are not a part of the law firm, we're separate. But this law firm does really huge mass class action lawsuits against companies that pollute, specifically with like PFAS, like the forever chemicals, also pharmaceutical negative side effects. They specialize in those types of cases, and they're good at winning cases. But the challenge is then when you're needing to do the intake of all the thousands of people that may be qualified and calculate, how much they're due, because it's different based on the person's situation. So we're working on streamlining a lot of that. We're using a little bit of artificial intelligence.
Of course.
No surprise there.
Yeah.
Responsibly, because a lot of that can be really good, with document summarization. Like we get these medical forms, like thousands of lines long, and someone in a call center just needs to know, like, hey, did this person have this specific injury? So they're qualified. So like we use artificial intelligence for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, team of 15 people. And I head up their infrastructure.
Yeah, this is very cool. So I think when somebody is new to AWS, this idea of having multiple accounts, I mean, typically you go to a website, you have one account, and that's your account, and you do stuff in it. But here at AWS, we like to encourage having multiple accounts and creating those isolation boundaries. And then, so when you're creating those multiple accounts, is it really hard to do, or what kind of tooling do you rely on to help you do that easily?
Yeah, so what I rely on is Account Factory for Terraform.
Okay.
It's integrated we use GitHub with our GitHub. So once it's all set up, literally all you have to do is put in a separate TF file of I want this new account to be provisioned. You merge it, and then it just automatically does all the things, including you can set governance controls such as I want a billing alarm once this account hits $100, stuff like that. There's a lot of dials you can turn. We're pretty early stage, and we tend to be more on the trust side of things. So I admittedly have not touched a lot of those dials, but they're there if you need them.
So I imagine you need a massive team to do that.
No, not at all.
Okay. So how big's your team, and how are you guys managing that?
Yeah, so 15 people total. In engineering, I believe we're about 8.
Okay.
So yeah, I handle it all myself. Also trying to share my knowledge with folks. So the bus factor is a real thing.
Yeah.
So.
Where can we find you? Because we've got to wrap. We have so much more coming up. But where can folks go and find you and your blog post?
Yeah, DanielleHerberling.xyz is the best place.
Okay.
So first name, last name.
Yeah. Gunnar, Danielle, thanks for being here. Todd, thanks for co-hosting with me.
Yep.
This has been a fantastic session. I wish we could have more of you, but we have something very exciting coming up next. We've got the keynote right here at AWS reInvent. So make sure you watch that live stream and let us know what you learned, and we'll be back this afternoon.